People love to talk all the time. It's usually what people do in replacement of action. People just talk about things that they want to do, talk about places they want to go, talk about the goals that they want to achieve that they're not actually going to achieve because they don't know how to implement action into their life. They don't know how to think independently. They think they can only think about the things they want to think about. Because most of you guys, most people who are watching self-improvement videos, people who are watching videos to do with, how do I actually become disciplined? How do I actually do things and remain disciplined and build either a business or do things out of freedom of my own will and all this, all this type of thing. The main problem people face is an implementation problem, how to actually act. Because most people are not doing any action. Most people are thinking. Most people are stuck in their head. Most people are on their phones, on the tube, or on the bus, and they're looking at their phones, and they're staying introverted within their own mind, to the point where if someone just observes the general populace of people who are on the commute, or during the commute, and they're just looking on their phones, you can see what people are actually thinking. Because people are stuck in their minds, and they're using their phones to do whatever they're doing, but no one's actually acting. People are just consuming. People are consuming in an introverted way, and they're reacting to reality. So the reason why this is the case is because people don't have accountability. The reason why people don't act, people don't do things, is because they lack accountability and they lack standards. Okay. So the reason why this is the case is because they don't observe reality. Most people don't observe reality for what it is. When I'm walking around and I'm doing things on a daily basis, I look at the world in an opportunistic way. I look at the world and I observe it for what it is. And a lot of the time, I see things that are not good. Why is this person at 8 a.m. eating some sweet, chocolatey cookie, sweet thing with a coffee? Obviously, that's not going to be good for their health. Obviously, the reason why they're talking about all these types of people are talking about, I'm depressed, I'm very anxious, and all this type of stuff, is because they're eating shit in the morning, first thing in the morning. So that's obviously not good. Why is that person smoking right next to a newborn baby at the park? Why ain't that person going to the grocery store and buying shit? That's not good for them. That's not going to be good for their health. So I see these things a lot, I just see a lot of problems, just in general. That's why I did coaching, because I can observe and I actually look at reality for what it is. I have perspective. I just don't use my perception. I use my perspective. I use different forms of perspective instead of just being perceptual of reality that is victim to the conditionings of other people's intent through marketing and things like this. Instead, I actually look at reality and see what's going on, and I make moral judgments of things that people are doing. Because I have standards. I set standards for myself, and I have very high standards in relation to things that I want to do. So I'm very disciplined. I'm very accountable. I want to achieve certain things I want to achieve. Now, for someone who doesn't observe reality, they don't have standards. They don't know how to set standards, and they don't have any accountability because they don't have any standards. Most people are in a state of reaction and consumption. They see something on the TV, and then which is their consumption phase, and then they react to what they consume. You are marketed a certain product, you react to that through consumption, and you therefore consume the product. So it's something that is both one and the same. There's two sides of the same coin, and this is how most people live. So if you're living like this, you can't invert that process to be the opposite of that, to create your own reality. You can't be creative and proactive. Instead, you're going to be reactive and consumptive. And this is why people don't have accountability. People don't have high standards because they can't set standards when the individual is reactive to reality and when the individual is consumptive. Because other people are dictating their reality. They're allowing marketers, people who are in public relations, people who have all the money, all of the ways of understanding to influence your instincts, to control you rather than you control yourself through discipline and having high standards. That is why people don't know how to set goals for themselves. People know how to envision goals. This is the problem. People know how to think and fantasize about goals and what they want to achieve, but they don't know how to actually act to achieve those goals because their way of perceiving a reality is warped and controlled by other people. So what you have instead is you have mostly people who think. They dream up realities in their mind. They're like, oh, I'd love to be able to have this opportunity one day where I could have this business and I could have all of this money and I'd love to be able to do this and buy this beautiful house, but I just don't know how to do it. The reason is because of what you are doing instead. What are you doing now? And this is why, why can't you figure out how to accomplish these goals? And you ask them, well, do you have any bad habits? Do you struggle with any of these types of things on a daily basis? And then they say, well, yeah, I just procrastinate a lot. I don't do anything in relation to working on these goals because I end up just watching TV. I watch Netflix. I eat shitty food. I don't work out. I'm very demotivated. I don't get up in the morning. I don't have a routine. I don't have a good nutrition plan. You don't do any of these things that maintains your own standards or your standards in which you want to live up to. Because everything else is dictating what you do. This is why people love to talk and people don't like to act. This is why there is no action, there's no discipline. This is the main reason. And it's a big problem because this is a wiring of the mind. This is a conditioning of the brain. All the way from beginning to end. That's the plan, because society has a plan for you, but you don't have a plan to combat the plan that society has for you. This is the problem. It's very clear what society wants you to do. Society wants you to have a 9-to-5 job, make a wage, not an income, a wage, which doesn't change in response to inflation, really, that you consistently do all the time, every day, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and you just stay in that job. You don't really get out of that. There is no opportunities within that job, so you don't really deviate on a scale of hierarchy when it comes to job positions. And therefore, you then retire, you have a retirement fund, you finally pay off that mortgage for your house, and that's it. And you're just living in the same town, or the same country that you've always lived in. And you've been trying to make as much money as possible through the wage you have to basically pay off the mortgage that you eventually got paid off when you were around about 50 years old, because you got the mortgage when you're about 27 or something. That's it. That's the plan. And that plan is going to keep you very stationary, and you ain't going to be moving anywhere, and you're not going to do anything. There is no action in relation to your desires to be fulfilled within that plan that society has for you. And that is the indoctrination that you've been taught from day one. You've gone to school, you've gone to college, you graduated, you did all that bullshit. And then you got into some shitty job, and then you realize, oh shit, the degree that I got isn't actually going to give me a good job that's going to make me some decent money. And then you just get a shitty job, and that's it. So, most people who are successful, they have a strong disdain towards what's going on in society. They don't want to be a part of it. They want to do something about it. They want to act right now. People that don't really care that much, they just go with the flow. They go with the consumption and the reaction. Oh, something happened on the news. The only way I'm not going to act towards this. I'm not going to redirect my attention towards something where I can actually make a change for myself. Instead, I'm going to react to what's said on the news, like joining a march protest. By reacting with all the other collective individuals, by going on a march. And I'm going to protest. And I'm going to be like, oh yeah, this thing's actually, I stand up for this, even though you don't have a clue what's going on. You don't know what's really going on, because the news is just an assimilation of information that is being told to you for a specific reason So there is an intent for that news to be told to you for a specific reason in which you don't really understand the complete reality of. Because usually the news tells you, because it's propaganda, it just tells you 50% of the story of what is actually true. And you're not the arbiter of that information, so you don't really know what is being told to you. You don't know the full scope of reality. But anyway, you take that as truth, and then you react to it. Protest, march. I'm going to vote for this thing. Politics is real. It actually makes sense. No, it doesn't. But I'm going to, react to these things because I believe everything that's told to me is real, because I believe that everything is told to me is what should dictate my life. That's why I haven't changed. That's why I haven't actually made my dreams a reality. And that's why these things happen. So that is the reason to why people don't know how to act. They don't have accountability. They don't know how to set standards for themselves because they are too codependently attached to what everything out there is telling you. The things that want to actually control your reality. Because society has a plan for you, but you don't have a plan for yourself to combat against the plan that society has for you, which is that of basically slavery, that of basically a form of control, to keep you controlled, to not give you any form of freedom, financial freedom, vocation freedom, anything like that. And if you want to figure out how to build discipline, if you want to figure out how to actually maintain high standards, be accountable, put things in place within your life so you can break out of some of this bullshit that you accept every day that you don't even want to be part of. Because a lot of you guys who are watching this, you're watching this for a reason. You're not just watching this because, a lot of you are watching this video because you're like, well, I'm just scrolling through YouTube and, I'm going to watch this video for like 50 seconds and then turn it off because you're in that trance of control. You are not controlling your own mind, relying on everything outside of you to control you. But if you're one of those individuals who actually wants to do something about this stuff, then book in a call. Take that risk. Learn techniques of how to actually be accountable, disciplined, break bad habits, learn systems of self-management, and then you'll be actually able to guide yourself towards your own freedom and your own liberty of self-control and self-accomplishment and success. So if you are interested in that, book in a free call down below. Don't waste your own time. If you're not interested in coaching, if you're not interested in any of that type of stuff, don't book it in. But if you are actually interested, and you're actually interested in finding out what is within the program so that you can implement it into your own life, then book in that free call down below. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Hope you have a lovely day. Talk to you later.